So the M1 based MacBook Pro was launched in 2020 and it kind of revolutionized the laptop segment market. I resisted it for a while, but after 10 months of its launch, I finally bought it. And after a few months, Apple again launched MacBook Pro 14, MacBook Pro 16, this time with an even more powerful chipset, M1 Pro and M1 Max. And after resisting for a while, I finally came into the temptation and I have got the M1 Pro powered MacBook Pro 16 in the house, which is amazing. I have been using it for last 1 week and this is my review of the same. So the one that I got is the base variant of MacBook Pro 16 powered by M1 Pro chipset. It has got 512 GB of SSD storage, improved SSD storage, 16 GB of RAM, M1 Pro chip with 10 core CPU, 16 core GPU and 16 core neural engine. This one also has got an SD card reader, which is a must-have for content creators like me. It also has got an HDMI port, so you can connect an external monitor, but you can actually connect two 4K external monitors with this. The M1 Pro MacBook Pro 13 has got a limitation of connecting with only one 4K monitor, so there's an improvement in that regard also. But there is again improvements in the MacBook Pro 13 and MacBook Pro 14. The base variants now have 3 Thunderbolt 4 or Type-C. These slots are capable of charging, DisplayPort, as well as capable of transfer with the transfer rate of 40 GB per second. Okay, so one thing I forgot to mention in my review, that the cameras, the web cameras have also been improved. The MacBook Pro 14 and the MacBook Pro 16 now have got full HD webcams. So this is the quality of the video. Also the audio is getting recorded into the microphones. So the microphones is also improved. AC is running behind me. I'll turn it off and now I will speak so that you can figure out the difference between the audio quality when there is noise in the background and when there is not. So I'm recording this video on the M2 MacBook Pro 13. So these are the web cameras on this machine. This is full HD and the audio is also getting recorded into the inbuilt microphone. And there is a new charging system that has been reintroduced to the MacBooks, which is MagSafe. The version that I bought retails for around 2,40,000 in India, both online and offline. I bought this machine online because I was getting a good deal. I bought it rupees 20,000 less than the retail price. So you can guess the price. Also, I made a recording of the video while it was delivered to me because that is crucial if you are ordering something expensive online. This gives you a proof that if something is faulty, you have gotten evidence which helps you in raising dispute and getting the product replaced. So I recommend you make a recording of anything expensive that you buy online. The box is not that big when I compare it with the box of the MacBook Pro 13, but when I open it, there is a huge laptop sitting on the top. When I remove it, we have got the Type-C to MagSafe 3 cable, which is braided this time, which means it will not break easily. Then there are some booklets by Apple. Beneath that, there is a huge 140 watt charger because charging this big laptop with 100 watt hour battery requires a big charger like this. So when I took it out of the box, it had 70% charge. I started using immediately. I used it for a while to set the computer up, like putting in the Apple ID and updating the software. Then after that, I edited some videos, and at the end of the day, like around 11 p.m., I had 10% charge on it. So I used it for around 7-8 hours and the battery went from 70% to 10%. I used only 60% of the battery in 7-8 hours, which is quite impressive. The next day when I connected it to the charger, it was charging like crazy. I mean, from 10% to 44% in just 15 minutes. And in next 15 minutes, like 30 minutes from the time of starting the charge, it was 66%. And after that, I stopped tracking the time because I had the battery charging optimization turned on, which slows down the charging after it reaches 80% to have a better battery health for a longer period of time. But once the battery was charged to 100%, I took it off the charge and I started using it on battery. I was able to use it for the entire day and for the next half day also. And in that period of time, I was able to edit 4K videos, do multitasking and all kind of stuff, but it was still able to last 1.5 days, which is quite impressive. I mean, the battery life is quite impressive. So is the display. The 16.2-inch display is quite huge. It feels like you're sitting in front of a monitor. The screen resolution is 2056 by 1329, which is huge. And it's amazing that you get so much of real estate. In the earlier laptop that I was using, the MacBook Pro 13, the M1 powered MacBook Pro 13 had also great resolution, but I always had it connected with my 4K TV, which I use as a monitor because it gives me more real estate. But the screen real estate I'm getting on this machine, I think it is quite sufficient for me because I did not feel the need of connecting this laptop to a monitor, even though you can connect two 4K monitors with it, one with Type-C Thunderbolt and the other with the HDMI. So the display is quite amazing. It is liquid retina with ProMotion technology. ProMotion is like adaptive refresh rate, which matches the content refresh rate that is playing on the screen, which feels quite nice. If you're browsing and scrolling pages, you can feel the difference. And you will feel the difference when you watch movies or any YouTube video on it. Because when I started watching a YouTube movie, I felt like I wanted to watch more. Thanks to the speakers, 6 front-facing speakers on this laptop. Sound quality is so amazing that I would want to watch more movies on this machine rather than my 11-inch iPad Air. So the screens are amazing both for working as well as content consumption. The keyboards are standard size keyboards, the keyboards that you get on other MacBook Pros. MacBook Pro 13 had also the similar kind of keyboard setup. The only difference is there is no touch bar, even though I am those 0.1% of the people who really liked touch bar because you could change the buttons. On this, it is replaced by function keys, and I don't think I will be using them more. But then the typing experience is a little better on that. I haven't looked into the specifications, like what has changed in the keyboards, but it really feels different. And because the keyboard is a standard keyboard in this 16-inch laptop, there is more room to have a bigger trackpad. In fact, I have got a Magic trackpad with me, and the trackpad on this machine is quite similar to that. Like the size is pretty much the same, and the bigger is always the better. So the display is quite amazing for multitasking. I mean, I was able to put 5 different windows on the same screen, and I did not have to switch between windows, which takes a few seconds here and there. If you are a productivity freak, you are going to love the ability to put more windows on the same screen. Even on the laptop, you don't need an external monitor. You can do that on this 16.2-inch monitor, which is quite amazing because I can take it with me everywhere I go, and I will be able to do multitasking without any problems. Although the MacBook Pro 13 also had amazing multitasking capabilities. All the Mac machines are amazing at productivity multitasking, but this one takes it to a different level because of this huge screen real estate that you get. And the screen real estate also helps you in video editing because now you will be able to run your video editor along with file folders from where you want to access the files. So for productivity as well as for video editing, this is an amazing machine. Like the M1 Pro and the M1 Max chipset were compared to the leading desktops available in the market by Apple itself. So these laptops really give you that desktop grade performance. Talking about video editing, I no longer will have to live a dongle life because dongle life really sucks. It sucks battery so much from the MacBook Pro that even the 13 or 14 hour of backup gets ruined. When you connect your peripherals, when you connect your storage SD card, your SSDs, to the dongle and you connect the dongle to the MacBook Pro 13, the battery will only last a few hours. In my case, when I used to do video editing, I used to keep everything connected, and whenever I edited on battery, it only lasted 3 to 4 hours. And then after 3 hours, you go into panic mode, searching for the power socket and then getting out of your creative zone. Thankfully, this is no longer the case with the MacBook Pro 16 because it has got an SD card reader of itself and the base memory is 512 GB. So I can edit my projects directly in the internal memory. I don't need to connect my SD card, which is a great thing. It will also save battery. So it is a complete package for video editors, for content creators. And it is an amazing machine. I can't stop talking about it. It is amazing. Is this worth rupees 2,40,000 if you are in pro work? Because this is a pro laptop. The MacBook Pro 13 is also pro laptop, but this truly deserves the pro tag because it is for content creators who want to do more in less time and people who want desktop-like performance on a laptop form factor, who are on the go. They don't need to carry bigger bulky laptops, bigger bulky PCs. They will be able to get same kind of performance on a smaller form factor. So it is for professionals, content creators, and productivity freaks. You can even go for the MacBook Pro 14, which will have a smaller footprint, but I would suggest you to go for the 16 version because 16 version has got a lot of exclusive things such as the 140-watt charger that is exclusive to only the 16 version, and the amazing speakers on it, the bigger trackpad on it, and this huge desktop monitor-like screen that is always with you wherever you go. I will put the link of this laptop as well as the MacBook Pro 14 in the description of this video, so you are free to pick whichever one you like, but I definitely recommend these laptops for pro creators. So that's it in this video. I hope you liked it. If you did, you can hit the thumbs up button. You can also tell me what things you would like to see, watch on this channel. If you haven't subscribed, you can subscribe to the channel to see other videos which can make your tech life easy. I will see you in the next one. Till then, take care.